Welcome to the debate show. Very special debate because there's a derby game coming up on Sunday, and for the first time it looks like a meeting of pretty much equals, although I'm sure my friends in the red corner will debate that. Ian Sterling and Lou Macari, lovely to see you, and in the blue corner the one and only Gary Owen and Fred Pratt. So listen, since you lads are at home, are you bothered about the derby? Because Fergie says it's Liverpool, Lou.
No, you're bothered about the derby, and I think you'll find that out on Sunday. Every derby game that I can remember, especially for the last 10 years, Jim, there's always been that anticipation, that excitement, and of course that desperation for both sides sets supporters to win the game. It means a lot to people.
What about you, Ian? Because, see, Fergie says this, but if you lose on Sunday, when you've got to work on Monday, you won't be at work with a gang of Scousers, will you?
No, I won't be at work with a gang of Scousers. I've got a big blue at work. John O'Reilly will make sure I suffer. But, no, this is important. It really is important. This is about taking, you know, a bit of pride, knowing that you're the top team in Manchester. You know, just for that day, obviously we are anyway, but just for that day it gives you a bit of pride over people like Fred. You can look them straight in the eye and know that you've beaten them. Now, you know what, Fred? Fergie reckons you're getting cocky. Not you personally, but...
Well, he's been at it all year. I mean, every time City get mentioned, Taggart's on there giving us a blasting. And he's been at it today saying that we're getting too cocky. And, I mean, don't get... We are the underdogs for this game. No matter what, City are the underdogs for this game. And United are worried. And even without Adebayor and Santa Cruz and maybe Tevez, they're still going to get a game and a half. I mean, we'll probably put Benjani up front to score about 8. Yeah.
Now, Gary, there is a theory I'd like to test out on you, that when Fergie starts talking about you, it means you're on his radar and that he's probably starting to consider you as real opposition. Would you go along with that?
Yeah, it might be. In about 10 years' time, he might be piled up with Mark Hughes like he's with Arsene Wenger now, because Arsene Wenger and Arsenal have not been the threat in previous years. I think it was Rafa Benitez's turn last year. I think it's Mark Hughes' turn this year. For us, take it as a compliment. But, you know, what Sir Alex says leading up to games, especially when playing against the opposition, nobody listens.
Right, now, here's the scenario for you both, really. If you're a Red, you've started the season and you've already lost a game. So if you lose Sunday, you could get this scenario where he's sat at Partington 6:30 Monday morning and he's looking at a league table that says played 6, lost 2. He would not be a happy man at that prospect, Louis.
He's never a happy man if he loses a game, Jim. That's why he's still there. That's why he's still in the hot seat. He loves his football. And I'm sure that, you know, all the United supporters will agree that when the day comes that he does decide no longer to be at Carrington at 6:30 in the morning, as you've just said, then it'll be Manchester United's biggest loss ever. I mean, we've talked about the loss of Cristiano Ronaldo. We probably will in the next couple of years talking about the loss of Scholes, Giggs and Gary Neville. But, you know, the biggest loss, the manager.
Yeah, you're right. But listen, even if we lose against City, which isn't going to happen, I mean, I think they've beat us once in 12 outings at Old Trafford.
We'll be on 3 minutes, don't get kidding.
Oh, there's plenty more where that's to come. But even if we lose, no one hands out any trophies in September. No one wins a Premier League in September.
But you can lose one, Ian.
No, you can lose one. Look, we've had bad starts to a season before. Look, it hasn't even happened yet. Look,
no.
we will win on Sunday. That'll happen.
I think in fairness, Jim, the City lads, I think they're entitled to be cocky because what's happened at the start of the season is probably much, much better than they anticipated. For a few years now, they've been struggling down at the bottom half of the league, and all of a sudden, a load of new players come in, and everyone still thinks, well, they've got to gel together. I think they've played superb. I think they've showed great commitment, which doesn't always apply to these players that come for a lot of money. Some of them can take the money and then not perform for the club. But I think when you look at City's performances, I think Alex, myself, or anybody connected with Manchester United, you're going to be a little bit concerned about the fixture.
Right, now, Fred, I've just said to them that you don't want to look at a league table which says played 6, lost 2. By the same token, if you're a City fan, you don't want the run that City have started the season with to end at Old Trafford, do you?
No, I don't want anyone to end at Old Trafford, do we? Apart from a losing run. So we've got to go there. We're going to go there on Sunday, and we have had a kick with what's happened this week with Adebayor, but we've still got the players there who can do a job. And Yeezy's going to have something up his sleeve. He really is. You know, don't be surprised to see someone like Vladimir Weiss playing or something like that. Who the Red Noses don't really know anything about, and we know he's a terrific player. They've only got to ask Northern Ireland about that because when he was playing in Seattle the week. So Yeezy's going to have something up his sleeve. And he's known all week that he's not going to have Adebayor. He's known since Saturday tea that he's not going to have him in the derby. So he would have planned it out. And when we look at that paper on Monday morning, we'll still be up there. No matter what, we're still going to be up there.
Right, Gary, tell him what that surprise is going to be.
The surprise is going to be that we've got no strikers, and Mark Hughes is going to have to...
Rabbit out of the hat, Carlos Tevez.
He's desperate to play. I mean, if you read the newspapers, and whether you do or not, you know, he's begging to play at Old Trafford. He wants to go back there. I think he didn't play as many games as he could have done, boys, at Old Trafford, and, you know, a lot of United supporters felt that he should have done. And all the contract negotiations didn't go, and he ended up going to the rivals across the city. It's all in the melting pot, isn't it, for Sunday? And if he is fit, he will want to play, and Mark Hughes is going to have to be a big man to stop him pulling on that blue shirt.
Gary, I think he believes he'll get a good reception at Old Trafford. I think he's in for the biggest shock of his life.
I don't think it's the reception he's worried about. I think he just wants to go.
Well, I think
he's going to make Adebayor celebrations look a bit...
Because he's in the paper this morning, Jim, he's saying that for what he did for Manchester United, he expects a good reception. Now, I just get a little bit of a feedback from one or two supporters, and not the Prawn Sandwich Brigade, and it's not going to be like that.
No, it's not going to be like that. Look,
Did you ever get a good welcome at Rangers?
Never.
He's not going to chant it. Fergie, sign him on. Surely, because you're going to do that again, aren't you?
There was a certain section of the crowd that was singing that. I can guarantee you, I wasn't part of that.
Even we sing that now.
Well,
It's a great chant.
sing it all you want. Look, I mean, Tevez won more at United than he will ever win at City.
Oh.
You know,
and we call it bits of blues.
No,
weird bits of blues. How was that?
You're going to have a pocket full of photographs, aren't you? And
My work here is done.
Yeah, you said back, Jim.
I'll get the teas, should he? Just carry No, but while we're on the topic of Tevez, we put that poster up, didn't it, in Manchester? Ooh, welcome to Manchester.
Jim, I've never seen it.
But it caused ructions. Fergie said it was small-minded, and the United fans wanted him to sign him for 25 million, and then when he let him go to City, they said, we're not that bothered anyway. So go on, Ian, straight-face me. Are you bothered about losing Tevez, and are you bothered about losing him to City?
No, really, I'm not bothered about losing Tevez. And once he leaves United, I don't care where he goes, to be honest. You know, he's not a United player, that's all that concerns me. It didn't bother me that he went to City. You know, why would he want to go to City in the first place? You know, it's only for the money. I mean, more figures have come out this week. We're talking it's cost City in the region of 47 million. United were never going to pay that for him. I thought it was too much at 25 million. He was more of a bit part player. Listen, we were very, very successful last season. You know, won the league, made a European Cup final. No one can question Alex Ferguson's choices and what he did for Manchester United Football Club last season. Tevez played his part in that. He decided he didn't want to be anymore. I mean, you've got all the agents and everything that comes into the melting pot with this, with modern football now. That all had a part to play on it. City were willing to offer him the money. You know, if it pays off for them, fantastic. If it doesn't, well, the 47 million out of pocket.
I think the one thing, Jim, that people forget with Carlos Tevez is the manager last season didn't pick him most weeks. He had him on the bench. Now, at any club, if the manager doesn't pick somebody and everyone thinks he's such a good player, there'll be a reason. A good reason why that player is not selected week in, week out. I mean, he started every game for City. I haven't followed that.
Well, he's not been fit for the first part of it, so it's a case now of when he's fit, he'll be playing. I think, unless Sir Alex Ferguson is now saying they didn't say it, but he wanted Carlos Tevez to stay. He offered him the contract. He texted him. He tried to call him. And Carlos Tevez decided to move on, and we're glad that he's come to us. Now, I've got to say, Sir Alex Ferguson, we all know, is a good judge. I can't see him wanting to pay 25 million to be a bit part player this year. I think it all depended on whether Ronaldo was going to go or not go. When Ronaldo went, it was a little bit too late.
Finances obviously play a big part of it.
Absolutely, of course it does.
We've got the albatross of the Glazers around our neck. You've got a sugar
daddy.
You've got the sugar daddy.
Sugar daddies.
Sugar daddy's fantastic.
Million,
Abu Dhabi United. That's, they own you now. That's
You
fantastic.
wouldn't turn it down, though, Ian, would you?
What, sugar daddy?
No.
I'd rather see fans play a greater role in football clubs.
Yeah, we all would, but in the real world, you wouldn't turn the money down.
It can be the real world. Fans can have more of a say in the football clubs. Why not? Listen, we pay the wages. We put the money into the clubs. The clubs are there and what they are now because of fans before, because at Old Trafford, people turning up through thick and thin, even through City, more thick than thin, but, they've kept the clubs going. The fact that you've got the sugar daddies in now, that doesn't sit well with me.
What would you have done then, Ian? Would you have sold Ronaldo or would you have kept him as a fan?
As a fan, look, Ronaldo wanted to move on. He thought he would go on to bigger things. what's bigger than Man United in my eyes.
So you'd have let him go.
If he wanted to go, £80 million, good business.
And Carlos Tevez, would you have kept him or let him go?
I think Rooney can do 10 times the job of Tevez. Listen, we've signed Owen. Whatever the deal, 20 grand a week, you know, there's all kind of rumours going round. He scored more league goals than Tevez so far this season.
Right, well, in the interest of balance, Fred, he's had a right pop at you there, hasn't he?
Well, he's got to pull out all his photographs. His pedigree chum, because he's always thought, we've got the pedigree.
Well, please feel free to rectify this situation if you will.
Well, this about United fans not being sick as a parrot about Tevez. They all are. They're really wound up about it. And it's very easy for him to say, oh, we'll let him go and let this go. Ronaldo and Tevez didn't necessarily leave United just because of money. There's something else going on there. If everybody had got it too many times with hairdryers or whatever, I don't know don't know. But you know, the tide's turning. The tide. Everyone knows the tide is turning. This Fergie's team, and you know, I'm a blue through and through, and you've got to show respect to Ferguson. He has been the best manager, and you've got to show respect to people like Giggs and Scholes, because they're proper professionals. But that's where it ends. It's Man U, and we're going to be the team in Manchester. As I said in the last time, it's not necessarily going to happen now. And Rome wasn't built in a day. It's going to take time. But I tell you can see it. I've only missed one match, Palace in the Cup, and you can just see that team is gelling and they're working for each other. And people like Gareth Barry, proper professionals, really in there, and they'll be all mixing it on Sunday. They'll really be up for that game on Sunday, City boys. We've all without Adebayor. They really will, and they're going to get a shock. They're going to know they've been in the game, big style, aren't they? Come on,
great. You know what? We won't
hang on, you have to wait a minute for this one. This is Fred, this is Gary, this is Lou, this is Ian, this is Channel M, and there's a big game of football coming up on Sunday, and we're going to pick a team for City and a team for United after the break. Go nowhere.